state of real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Chrismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. Make sure you're subscribed. Welcome into everybody joining in with us live, as well as everybody tuning into today's recording, because what we're talking about today is real estate in 2024. Now, as we stand today, real estate has already been happening. Properties have been going, not just listed on the market, but going under contract. There's listings that are still on the market from December. There's listings that may be on the market from even farther back than that. And maybe now, because of announced rate cuts with the Federal Reserve, people are trying to get ahead of that. You're starting to see buyer activity pick up on top of the overall buyer activity that picks up due to seasonality of the springtime and people wanting to move in the springtime and whatnot. So now is a great time to take your real estate career to the next level, whether that's you just getting started out and getting enrolled in a course to be able to get going on this, or maybe you've already got your real estate license and you want to start taking this a little bit more seriously, one way or the other, to again level up your real estate business. So welcome into everybody tuning in today. We've got a great program laid out for you, and we're going to try to keep this not too long. We want to keep this concise and to the point so you have some tangible information to go out there in the world with. Now, what I'm going to put here on the board is going to be, if you have any questions, reach out to our advisors. We have an amazing team. You could reach them at 813-333-2676. Call or text any questions you have, confidentially, of course. And you can also visit us online, browse the whole catalog at tsre.us. There's also a chat feature right on the website, tsre.us. We've actually got a new year, new career promo that's actually about to wrap up. So take advantage of that. Use promo code New Year for any purchase at tsre.us, or call into our advisors and they'll be able to assist you in getting everything set up to get registered, whether it's for an in-person class, an on-demand program, online, or anything in between. And even if you just have questions about starting a real estate career, about what you're going to learn in post-licensing, if you haven't taken that yet, maybe you're considering getting your broker license. If you have at least 2 years of real estate experience, whether that's here in Florida or from another state, 2 years in the last 5 years, you could get a real estate license. And the experience pretty much qualifies just by having the license, not necessarily by transaction count. So any questions you have on any of that here, 813-333-2676. But let's dive a little bit deeper into real estate in 2024. Now, I'm going to speak specifically to Florida. FL, as a lot of people might know it as, or Florida, meaning like flowers or something like that. Land of the flowers, flower land, Florida. I believe that is the translation, but don't quote me on that. Let me know in the comments if I'm right. But anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about today. But Florida is unique from a lot of the United States right now for a lot of different reasons. And it's been unique for some time due to a few things that really are pretty consistent. Whether people wanting to escape what the rest of the country looks like right now, whether it's snow or it's just cold or everything's just dead. You know, people rant and rave about seeing the leaves change colors, but I've seen it before and it just looks like a lot of death to me. A lot of death, which, I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to think about death, sure, but you know, we don't really experience that death here. Maybe our grass isn't as green in the wintertime, but we've got sunshine pretty much year round, except for the storms we've been having this year. That seems a little bit more unique. I think that's the El Nino stuff going on there. It's causing a little bit wetter weather this winter. But that's one of the top reasons why people want to move to Florida. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind is this migration. And something I'd really urge you and recommend you to do in 2024 is to get yourself some feeder agents from feeder markets. Now, what do I mean by feeder markets? These are the places people are moving from. Now, you might already be aware of these, or maybe you've got to, go do some research and find out where people are moving from. You can find those statistics online, but one thing I could assure you is there's a ton of people that come from the northeast of the United States that relocate to Florida, as well as other parts. We've got people from California, from Texas, from pretty much every state. There's people moving to Florida for various reasons, weather being one of them, income taxes, or lack thereof, essentially is one of the top reasons people are migrating to Florida. More recently, it's also been job opportunities, because there's a lot going on in Florida. So that could be one of the reasons why people are moving. And what this does is this helps you understand the people that, not only the people that have to move, because the people that have to move always have to move, regardless of what's going on in the market or interest rates or whatever the case may be. And that could be related to a job opportunity. Maybe they got some new job opportunity. Maybe they're just fed up with the income taxes, and even though interest rates might be high, maybe they're going to save so much money in their income taxes that they could afford to have that higher interest payment until they could refinance their loan when interest rates do drop. But so getting back to the factors affecting 2024, so we've got the migration still in effect. And there's always historically been an influx of people moving to Florida, again, for various reasons. But in addition to the migration, and that's where you want to tap into these feeder markets. So again, finding markets. And if you don't know anybody there, just start calling agents and say, hey, I'm willing to pay you a 20%, 30%, 40%, whatever you want to negotiate referral fee. And you might say, John, why would I want to give up 30% of my commission? Well, you're doing it for a no money down lead. That's what, so this is basically a referral opportunity. So you're basically working the referral angle. And these are basically no money down leads. Not that the people want to do some sort of no money down real estate deal, but you're not paying for leads. So this is where you could get really good quality leads without having to subscribe to some lead generation service or do postcard mailings or try to just phone all your friends and say, hey, you need to buy a house. These are all things that I would recommend done in the right way. But what's the best way to get started, especially with what's going on right now in the market? Focusing on who's migrating, because these agents are probably listing their homes for sale. And then these people have all this money and they don't want to not own a home, because once you've owned a home, it's hard to go back to not owning a home. And so they have this money, but they're not sure what to do because they don't have a good quality agent. But what if their listing agent had someone they could trust, somebody they refer lots of clients to, and they refer lots of clients to you because you're agreeing to pay them some sort of incentive, some sort of referral fee. You have a one-page referral agreement to handle this. So this can be very powerful. Get your license if you don't have it already, because you can't earn referral fees without a real estate license. But real estate referral fees are an extremely lucrative way to capitalize on your connections, on opportunities that are right in front of you without having to do any of the real estate work. You refer the deal to so in this case, we're talking about you paying that referral fee to this other agent. But you could do the same thing. You could refer, if you do have leads, if you do have connections, and you don't want to service that deal, refer it to somebody who does, for whatever you want to agree to as a referral fee. So that's huge. We'll put that on the list as a item in and of itself of referrals. Referrals from other agents. Referrals, basically referrals are only going to come from other agents. And we could say 2 other agents, because the referrals can go both ways. Hey, I've actually got somebody that's moving to New York. Yeah, no kidding. Want to do the same deal going the other way? Sure, let's do the same 30%, or maybe let's negotiate 20%, or whatever you want to negotiate. They're always negotiable. That's the great thing about this. But I've signed referral fees as high as 50%. So again, extremely lucrative. But other than the migration, other than referrals, we've got the big Fed rate cuts that are announced. Exactly how many, nobody exactly knows, because it doesn't happen until it happens. But there's a lot of things going on here. This being an election year, this being something that the Federal Reserve has literally already announced. And there's been, personally, I'm working with buyers that have already jumped on this information, knowing that the market is going to start to accelerate because of the rate cuts, especially when these rate cuts already happen. But the market's already picked up because of just the announcement of rate cuts, because people want to get ahead of it before it goes back to there being bidding wars over properties. Because if they cut the rates enough, that's the type of pent-up demand that we have right now. There's so much pent-up demand, so many people that are basically ready to go, ready to move forward, but maybe the interest rates are keeping them from affording what they could have afforded in the past. So now when those rates start to go down, the activity goes up. Rates go down, activity goes up. That's basic supply and demand, something that you actually learn about you learn about the Federal Reserve discount rate, they call it. The discount rate right in your pre-licensing course. It's covered in our exam prep tools. Again, you have any questions about what you need to get started, reach out to us. I'll put one other website on here as well if you want the step-by-step guide to get your real estate license. That's going to be licensefl.com. So again, that's licensefl.com. That's the step-by-step licensing guide of how to get your Florida real estate license. So even if you've never had a real estate license before, as long as you've got a high school diploma, as long as you're at least 18 years old, and look, let's say you don't have a high school diploma, do you have a high school diploma equivalency? Do you have a GED? Do you have a diploma from another country or another state or whatever it is? As long as you've met that education level, one way or the other, could even be homeschooling is even accepted. So as long as you've attained the education level of high school diploma one way or the other, you check that box on your application. You have to get fingerprinted for a criminal background check as part of the application process. Now, if you have a criminal background, that doesn't automatically disqualify you from earning a real estate license. We've got the details at that link, licensefl.com. You can go right on here, and there's actually a link you could click that takes you to a whole article about obtaining a real estate license with a criminal background. Because if this isn't something that the Florida Real Estate Commission is concerned with, they'll approve you. If it is something they're concerned with, if it's something such as like money laundering or theft or insurance fraud, things like that would make you not trustable in a financial sense. And even if those have occurred, if they're long enough in the past, if you've become a better, different person, chances are still good of you getting a real estate license. We actually even have an attorney we could put you in touch with that could give you a free consultation, more in depth, just beyond this general advice that I've got here. So reach out to us again if you have specific questions. Everything is confidential. Don't be ashamed. You'd be surprised how many people have a DUI or whatever it might be. That's usually not a concern at all of the Florida Real Estate Commission. And again, if you do have questions, reach out to us here. We get you connected with that attorney. Shout out to Daniel Villazon. I think his website's freckattorney.com. He's our go-to guy that we recommend people get in touch with, and he'll give a free consultation if you just mention Tampa School of Real Estate. If you say Tampa School of Real Estate sent you, he'll get you a free consultation and basically give you an overview. He's worked with a lot of our students in the past, so definitely reach out to him. And we've got the link directly to that article that's got his information in it as well at licensefl.com. Now, getting back to 2024. So what does this mean if you've already got a real estate license and the Federal Reserve is cutting rates? Again, this is going to be more activity. The more activity, the more money that goes around. And that's good for the overall economy to a certain degree. As long as it doesn't get out of control, That could be a problem, but it's a whole system of supply and demand. There's so many different entities and so on and so forth involved in all of this here. And the one thing that's always held historically true is real estate always goes up in value. You just have to zoom out far enough. Because yes, there are ups and downs that occur, but overall, the market gets bigger and stronger over time always. And even if you have a cycle here, it's going to recover beyond that. So you buy here, and then maybe the market goes down. That's what happened to a lot of people in 2007. And that's becoming such a distant memory now, so less and less people are really concerned of market crashes just because that was a significant drop. There's usually much smaller corrections. And really, if I'm drawing this in, this is a very crude drawing here. If we were to actually put something like this together of what it looks like with the market, you usually actually see something like this here. That's what we're seeing a lot more of now, more micro markets, more micro ups and downs, and that's just because the rate at which information moves now. So yes, you do have these ups and downs and whatnot, and yes, there could be these longer periods in between of the peaks, and there's so much that goes into this, but the one thing that is always held true over time, and it's yet to be proven incorrect, is that real estate always appreciates. Real estate always goes up in value. It just takes enough time. You buy at the peak of the market and then the market goes down to the lowest point ever, it'll go back up. That's what's always happened in the past before. And if you take time out of the equation, that's when it becomes even more lucrative. So if you could time it right, and one of the things that's great about real estate is it's slow to respond to supply and demand. So again, there's all these correction factors that come in from the Federal Reserve and different regulatory bodies and so on and so forth to help ensure that we have a healthy, stable market. But the one thing is that the market is very slow to respond to this. And what that does is that creates opportunities. And if you just had a nickel for every time an opportunity went in front of you and passed you by and you didn't even realize it was an opportunity, you'd be a very wealthy person. And that's what we help you do here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, is learn how to identify opportunities. It's going to start with getting your real estate license. That's what licensefl.com is for. You get your real estate license, and that's going to be a lot of laws and rules. And I'm not going to lie, it's not always the most exciting stuff, and it could be a little difficult to retain it all. But it's absolutely possible, so possible that you could do it in one try. If you're trying to pass your real estate exam, we'll give you yet another link here, because that's what we do. We make links, we make websites to disseminate information. And one of the things we're known for is helping people pass their exams on the first try, so much so that you go to passfirsttry.com and see exactly what that formula is, that step-by-step process to pass your exam on the first try. But again, this is laws and rules, so this is going to help make this as pain-free as possible. You could white-knuckle it and study really difficult with the whole textbook that you got here, or this is an example of what's in your workbook. It's 100 pages versus like 500 here. So because it's not a FREC-approved anything with the exam prep tools, it doesn't count for any credit, whereas the course does. This could get straight to the point, whereas your course has to cover things in details that are not always important for the exam. So that's why, again, the pass first try strategy is the quickest, most painless method to be able to move through that. So check that one out if you need to pass your exam. And the one last thing that I'll put up here for you is postflorida.com. So postflorida.com is all about the post licensing course. And this is required for your first deadline, but you don't want to wait until your deadline, because if you're waiting until your deadline to do this, you're blowing it in terms of your real estate career. You do it before your deadline, you're not going to lose your license, but I can almost guarantee you're going to be so much farther along if you were to take this compared to if you wouldn't have taken this right away. So you could do this as soon as you've got your real estate license, and you could actually bundle all of this together in what's called our Complete Jumpstart. And there are options with your registration to be able to get the complete jumpstart right online. But also at that point, I would reach out to one of our advisors for any questions you have. Again, 813-333-2676. They could break down all the details of this and make sure you're understanding everything that's going to go into this year. And what that's going to help you do is be able to move through this process so much faster. You're going to go 1, 2, and 3. And at this point right here, you get to this 3 of the postflorida.com of doing your post licensing. What you're doing now is your business planning and setting up your real estate business, understanding your sources of leads, understanding the referral agreements more, understanding prospecting for listings, understanding working with for sale by owners and expired listings, and pricing property to sell rather than appraising. So those are all the topics that are in, again, much more practical terms. And this is your roadmap, your recipe for success in real estate. It starts with this. There's so much you could do to go to the stars and beyond. Literally, you could become a star. I don't know if that's kind of the thing going on, the karma we're putting out there, maybe the juju we're doing with our little logo with the stars in it, but you wouldn't believe the number of people that have came through our doors as a relatively average person, and now they've gotten their own TV shows. They've been on multiple networks, several different students across several different times, all unrelated. But if that's the road you're trying to go down, it's one way to get yourself on TV is through real estate. There's a lot of people that watch stuff like that because it's entertaining. Yes, there can be some frustrations here and there of different things that you have to overcome to get to the success that you're ultimately after. But compared to pretty much every other way that I've looked at and I've done to earn money, I haven't found anything I've been able to enjoy more. Now, teaching. I do enjoy teaching and educating, but not just, teaching something like that, but teaching you guys here today how to be successful, how to actually use this information on a practical level to really change your lives. That's actually what I'm more interested in, is the transformation, because so many people come through our program and by the time they get to this point here, they're a different person. They're not the same person that started with us or that first called us up, hey, I'm thinking about getting a real estate license. But what's funny is you could look back on it and you could really see the transition that occurs over time, especially as you start to layer on this information. And we can help you get teamed up with a great broker to help get you started. There's multiple brokers we work with throughout Florida. And if there's anybody else it is that you're working with or interviewing with and you want some insight, you want to talk to one of our advisors, again, 813-333-2676. We'd love to answer any questions you have and to assist you in any way it is that we can. Again, that complete jumpstart, that's everything that we basically put in our recipe to jumpstart your career off the ground, and especially this year, because this is what is going to get you to the point of being able to have a seat at the table, just having the license. That's a great accomplishment there, but now you need to know how to use the license, and that's where the post licensing comes in. So again, call us up, ask about the complete Jumpstart bundle. You could get that with any of our course programs, whether you're doing the on-demand online or one of our in-person or the live online. There is a complete Jumpstart bundle available for any of our different programs. So reach out to us if you have questions about that. And we also have similar programs available if you are, again, upgrading to a broker license. So reach out to our advisors, 813-333-2676. If you do have questions about that. I want to thank you all for tuning in with us today. I love talking about topics like this, and if you want to see future videos about the market, about understanding how to grow your business regardless of what the market does, drop a comment, give us a like, give us a subscribe. And again, if you have questions, if you're thinking about taking action on your future, reach out to us. We'd love the opportunity to help you understand this better and help you understand how this could fit in and how you could develop a transition plan to live the life it is that you want to be living, whether that means increasing your income, opening up your schedule for more flexibility, or really just being more in control of your world. So thanks again for tuning in today. Again, you have any questions, you need help, 813-333-2676. That's all the time we've got for today. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you next week.
Have you seen what's going on in Tampa?
If you're looking to get get in on the real estate action that's going on in Tampa right now, we're who you need to talk to. We can help you get your real estate license, start your real estate career. We're here to assist you for the life of your real estate career. Give us a call. Phone number is 813-928-0106, or check us out online at tampaschool.com.